We're crossing back to the Hilton now, where Rishi's on standby with the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dr. Keith Mitchell. Rishi?
Yes, thank you very much, Lisa. I do have Grenada's Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Mitchell, with me. Good morning and welcome.
I'm so happy to be here.
It is a pleasure to have you here this morning. I know you have had a busy day yesterday, and today is expected to be busy as well.
Yes, very much. We had a packed schedule yesterday, and very exciting discussions on what some of the issues that affect the region as a whole.
What were some of the issues that were discussed yesterday?
I'd say the key ones, well, first of all, I think we had dialogue with the labor, the representatives in the Caribbean, and the business community representative. I thought that was important because it's my experience in Grenada throughout the structural adjustment program. We were highly successful in the conclusion of that program, primarily because we involved the social partnership, the business community, the trade union movement, the churches and other non-governmental bodies. And my experience tells me that without them, we would not have had that success. I see it as a model going forward, not just for a structural adjustment program, for permanent governance in any particular country. So I really welcome what I saw yesterday, that we learned from the business community and the labor, the issues that affect them and how they see the regional leadership. And we also got an opportunity to tell them some of the things that we think that we should continue to work together on. So that was one. That was an important session. And the question of transport.
Yes, I know you raised that concern yesterday.
We talk in CSME, if we do not have transport for people can travel in individual countries, I make the point all the time. It's easier for a Grenadian to go to Miami than it is for him to go to St. Kitts or Dominic or Antigua. And that does not make sense. So we need to do something about transport, which means we have to have more regular transport among the countries, and regular and cheaper transport, because the vast majority of people are not able to afford the cost of travel from one country to the next. I mean, it's prohibitive to even Grenada and Trinidad, just a few miles away, and it costs over $1,000 sometimes to get to Trinidad. That doesn't make sense. And I think therefore transport, both air and sea, because we have a lot of products that we can sell to each other within the region. Some countries import all sorts of agricultural products from Miami and even California. And when in fact the products are more natural, more healthy in several parts of the region. Take for example Guyana. Guyana can produce food for almost the whole Caribbean island, yet we buy all kinds of stuff outside. So I think that's the question of food security, and the whole question of CSME is also important as far as transport is concerned. So I think that was another issue we dealt with in the context of the CSME. They need to maximize the economic prospects in the region, among the countries in the region. And therefore they having the single ICT space is important. I see no reason why if I call up to Trinidad, I have to pay one rate. If I call to Jamaica, another rate. Makes no sense. This is one region. And therefore the need to force to invest heavily in the ICT and single ICT space is something we'll be discussing again today.
And this is what CSME is aimed at doing, creating that one single market space for all of the CARICOM member states to be part of. But are we ready as a people for something like that?
I think the people must be, in my view, probably more ready than we are as leaders. I think that's something that we have to come to terms with. Many times I think we have lacked the leadership to show people what the importance of the unit, the whole CARICOM family unit means to the region. What happens sometimes is that every time we take an initiative at the heads, which we believe collectively is the best for the region, when we get back to our individual country, if one aspect of it we don't see the success of it immediately for our country, then we don't support it. So we want to have a win-win on every single issue immediately, and it doesn't work that way. I may have to sacrifice in terms of what happens to Grenada in a particular issue, but I may gain in another area. But collectively, the country will gain, and all of us will gain. The question of freedom of movement, you know, and the ability to work in individual countries. Why are we holding back our people from traveling to individual countries? There's this fear that we'll be overrun by citizens from another country. Yeah. That fear is not real. And I believe all these things, we have to show bold decisions. We have to be prepared to talk to our people straight about what is best for the future generations. Some of the decisions we make today may not be beneficial for us individually right now, but our generations to come. The question of our education system. Why shouldn't we be sharing more in terms of opportunities for educating our people throughout the region? The question of health care. That's an issue I'm sure in Trinidad. Every election in Trinidad, health care. Yes. Every election in Grenada, health care.
And national security.
National security. Why are we not integrating those services and providing optimal services for people? I think these are some of the things that we have to come to terms with.
Now, one other question is, do you expect anything fruitful to come out of this discussion?
Well, I'm telling you, for the first time, I believe this meeting was held as a special meeting. It was not a normal meeting. It was held because there is a feeling that we are losing this war. And therefore, we need to have a special meeting where we give a whole 2 days primarily to CSME matters and to ensure that many of the decisions that we have to make and we are supposed to make, we must focus attention on them, each of the issues, and make a commitment to effect them and to get the final solution as far as those issues are concerned. I think this is certainly one of the major reasons for this meeting. And I'm saying also we have the view that, okay, we are CARICOM family. There are many issues that we have to deal with each other. Some areas, some issues, I might not be ready, but I see no reason why other countries shouldn't have a relationship on some sub-issues of importance to them.
And because there is the issue of Jamaica and Haiti.
As long as it doesn't go against the treaty and the legal aspects of the treaty, I think there's no need for us to feel that we have to wait for every single person to be ready to take a decision on where most countries can benefit. I don't.
All right, thank you very much, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, for coming and chatting with us.